business when he's gone. They're mature, dependable, and always leave you inspired. Here is a tip on how to become that person you admire in 2025. Number 1, emotional intelligence. What makes them so admired is the fact that they have emotional intelligence. They don't snap under pressure. They don't let their feelings run wild. Instead, they pause, think, and respond wisely. Research shows that 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence. So, the next time you feel triggered, ask yourself, how would the best version of me handle this? And then do that. Don't let your pride or ego get in the way. Tip number 2, healthy boundary. High-value persons set boundaries. They know when to say no, not because they don't care, but because they value their peace. Here is a quote to remember. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Can you bet? So protect your time in 2025. Protect your energy. It is the key to staying high value. Be selective in 2025. Don't just say yes to everything.
Thank you so much, Mema Ekukinam. Yes, my question to every one of us is, are you a high-valued personality? The answer, please keep it. Alright, it's time for us to move on the show as we join Akwa Imam Entuk in our health and wellness segment. This time she wants to talk to us about preventable health conditions. Let's hear from her and we'll be right back.
Let's take a moment to talk about something serious that has been happening around us. Have you noticed how often we hear stories of people suddenly slumping and sadly, in many cases, dying? It's heartbreaking, isn't it? 1 minute someone is fine and the next they're gone. It's not just a coincidence. There are real reasons behind this and we need to address them. Most of these cases are linked to preventable health conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and even dehydration. Let me explain. High blood pressure, also known as the silent killer, is the leading cause of strokes and heart attacks. Many people in Nigeria hardly even know that they have this because they do not check, and it builds up over time until it strikes. And let's not forget about dehydration. Abuja is hot and many of us don't drink enough water. When your body loses electrolytes in water, it can collapse under the strain. So please stay hydrated throughout the day. It's such an easy way to protect your health. We also need to think about infections like malaria and typhoid. Severe infections can overwhelm the body and cause a sudden collapse. Prevention is key. Get vaccination where possible, protect yourself from mosquitoes, and maintain good hygiene. And then there's a lifestyle factor. Stress, poor sleep, unhealthy eating. Let's be honest. Too much salt, sugar, plus a lack of exercise is putting our bodies at risk. Add daily hustle and stress, and the body just can't keep up. But here's the good news. We can do something about this. Start by knowing your health numbers, your blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. Make small changes like eating better, drinking more water, getting some exercise in, and taking some time to rest. Slumping and dying doesn't have to be our reality. With good awareness and small steps, we can save lives, our own and those of our loved ones.
If you're just joining us, it's still Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station. It's time now for us to shake our body, and this time we are joining Queen Enzi. In this one, she titles Odimiri. Let's join her and shake our body. We'll be right back. got you dancing. Yeah, we want to talk about building a culture of feedback. Yes, to promote responsiveness and better service. All right, and we have someone who is ready, okay, from his experience to share with us his wealth of experience. Okay, please join us as we welcome Honorable Dahatu Ezekiel Musa Salkin Yakin Diwa, former Commissioner, Public Complaint Commission. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Happy New Year.
I wish you the same, but we're glad we're here.
We are here in 2025, and it's indeed a beautiful year for all of us.
Sure.
We agree to it. Now we're talking about feedback, okay? Because if you pass an information to someone and you don't get the feedback, that means your communication is not complete.
Okay, I'm glad to be here once again. This has been my second home for me, and we won't get tired talking about those things that will promote better governance and then appreciates and improve the well-being of the individual as it concerns the citizen of the FCT in particular and Nigeria in general. In communication, this is what we talk about, the encoding and decoding. Because until this come to play, just like you say, communication have actually not taken place. What we usually have, and which is so much unfortunate, and we don't give it much attention, is this strategic topic of discussion that you just brought in between government and the people. The two must play together. Without the people, there will be no essence of having any government in place. And when you have a people without anybody driving them in form of a leader, and then they will just be there, and then you will have anarchy, you have all sorts of ugly trend in the society. So it's in the wisdom of God Almighty who created us, and in system, how system works. That's why we have the citizen, which are the people, and then you have the government.
Okay.
Leadership is all about taking the people from point A to point B. And in the process of doing it, taking them from point A to point B, communication is key. You have to properly communicate them. The people are seeing point A or point B from the point A that they are. They desire to be at point B.
Okay.
They want to be at that point. They are looking at it very far. They covet it. They are interested in point B. But how do we get there is a question. Then you now have a leader who is now prepared to take them from point A to point B with all lots of processes, with all lots of methods, and all lots of strategies. Now, let me give you one analogy. When you hear this word, communication gap, the way I describe it, it's like having a culvert, a very, very wide, big culvert. One other person is the other point, and then the second person the other point. That hole, that ditch is the gap. Something must bridge it. Is either I construct a bridge that the person in point A can now walk through it and go to point B.
Okay.
Or you use what we call a cable that you can still communicate, maybe throw one or two information through.
Okay.
But when you leave the gap the way it is, this is what happens. People will fill that gap with what they have.
Okay.
People will deliberately fill the gap with what they have. Lies, mischief, blackmail, and all of that, because there's no communication and they don't have an understanding of what's going on.
Okay. We'll look at effective strategies for fostering feedback. Okay. But let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll continue from there. Okay, we've been talking about feedback. Yes, either from a private organization, public, government, anyone. But we are just talking about the culture of feedback. We'll go on this break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Please don't go anywhere.
This is Call the Police
live on the Unity Station
NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
The least you and I can do is to assist them by making security our primary concern.
To those who seek to disrupt the tranquility of the FCT, I send a clear and resolute message. My tenure will be marked by a zero-tolerance approach to all forms of crimes and criminality.
When there's a court order that restricts them to Mushu Abiola Stadium, they ought to have obeyed that law. But because the FCT Police Command were prepared, we were proactive, we were able to manage within the ambit of the law.
Security is everyone's business. This is why NTA Channel 5 Abuja is collaborating with the FCT Police Command in providing a weekly platform for up-to-date security check in the FCT. Join us for the real information every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station.
We are still here discussing the culture of feedback, especially in Nigeria. We all know that that communication is not complete if you don't get feedback from the people you have sent the message to. All right, so we still have the Honorable in the house, and he's still ready to give us more. So let's talk about effective strategies of fostering feedback.
Now, when we talk about the strategies of now encouraging and aid feedback from people, the citizen, whether private or public, to the people in government or in position of leadership. Number one, you must create a healthy environment.
Okay.
Create a healthy environment where engagement and conversation with the people will be made more easier. Without first and foremost creating that environment, nobody has the courage to approach you with any vital information in form of feedback.
Yeah.
They are scared of even approaching you. Again, I will say it. Governance is about service delivery. Be it private or it's about service delivery. And when you have people who have given you a responsibility, you are supposed to be afraid of them because they are checking and seeing what you are doing. They should ask questions and all of that.
So for you, how do you think public awareness campaigns, what role do you think they can play?
A vital role indeed. When you have public, like we have the National Orientation Agency, I really don't see how much they are really doing. But this is one agency that we are supposed to, when we wake up from sleep, we hear and see them. When we go to farm, we hear and see them. You can devise so many means of engaging people when you talk of public orientation. There are a lot of misinformation out there. You need to disabuse people's mind with regards to some of these issues. There are very laudable policies of government being put in place, but people don't have the awareness. There is no orientation. They don't even know what it is. So they just come out and say things carelessly, demeaning and even degrading and painting black the good policies of God. Public awareness and campaign is key. We must be deliberate about it to orient people on policies of government and implementation.
Okay, as we round up, what would be your advice? And I also wanted to add accountability. Accountability. When people give you their mandate and you feel you're not accountable to them, don't you think it also hinders feedback?
It's key. If there is transparency, if there is genuineness, if you have actually done something, you will not be threatened by question of give us account of what you are doing and all of that. Seamlessly and then freely, you will be happy that you have a platform to ventilate. But
what will be your parting words?
My parting word, General, just like I said, the concept of governance is to further define what democracy is all about. That it is for the people, of the people, and by the people. The center point is the people. So governance is about service delivery. And we have to depart from the archaic way of doing things. We have to depart from our old ways of thinking it is us versus them. You build a very high fence between the people that have given you a responsibility to serve them. No, we should break those friends, and then engage and communicate freely with our people in service delivery and be genuine about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We've been talking about, we've been discussing building a culture of feedback, and you've heard it all. You know, each time he comes here to talk, you see the passion. He has this passion for the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's still Good Morning Abuja. Yes, it's time for us to take this break, and when we come back, the program continues. So please don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Those were words on marble. I love the one that says pregnancy. Character is like pregnancy, and it can never be hidden forever. So no matter what it is that you do, it can never be hidden forever. Now we want to talk about something very, very important that is of utmost concern to all of us. This time we're looking at prevention of anemia in pregnant women through the use of locally available food. And we have the FCT nutrition coordinator in the person of Mrs. Clara Chinyere Christiana Ekweme. Please join me as I welcome her to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It's great to be on this program.
Thank you. So we're talking about nutrition. We're talking about prevention of anemia in pregnant women through the use of locally available food. Okay, for you, let's start with the causes of anemia in pregnant women. So for you, what are the causes?
One of the major causes is poor dietary diversity.
Okay.
Not being able to eat iron-rich food. And even when you eat them, they don't eat them in the right way.
Okay.
Yes, and also some underlying causes. Maybe somebody is pregnant, or before she becomes pregnant, she has malaria, or maybe a sickle cell anemia patient. This could lead, or the mother has worms, helminths in her system. Some of these things can predispose her to anemia.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. When we talk about locally available food, for you, what are those simple ones or common ones that you feel that people should be aware of?
Okay, the very common ones are legumes, seeds and nuts. When we say legumes, different types of beans.
Oh.
You know, we are only used to the white beans, brown beans. There are other types of beans in the localities wherever we are.
Okay.
So we encourage pregnant mothers, even the community members, to focus on what is readily available in their communities, so that they don't have to travel far or spend so much going to get them. So beans, groundnuts,
Okay.
green leafy vegetable, dark green leafy vegetable, just like our common ogo, common aleho. But the vegetables we have to be taken with vitamin A rich food, like come as simple as oranges, tangerine, yes,
Okay.
or tomato.
Okay. So for you as a professional, a nutritionist, how do you think they will be able to combine all this together?
Yeah, incidentally, I am what we call a postpartum hemorrhage patient, a woman who bleeds after delivery.
Okay.
The reason why we are focusing on prevention of anemia through iron-rich foods, locally available iron-rich foods, is that the woman should have a backup In case during delivery there is a complication, she needs to go in for a CS, cesarean section, or she bleeds after delivery. She won't go into shock because she has a backup. But if she's anemic and enters into labor, it's going to be a high risk process for that mother in case there's a chances of complications. So the bottom line is that every pregnant mother should be protected, should be taught what to do, what to eat within her environment. She doesn't need to go far to do that. The Nigerian government is providing multiple micronutrient supplements. That is for women who are pregnant and not severely anemic. Because research has shown that pregnancy outcome is fantastic, is great. So they're encouraging mothers to use what we call MMS tablets. Before now, we were using IFA. IFA is iron folic acid supplement. The red and yellow tablets. Yes. So, but me and you know that these things are not as readily available as food. So it's just for the mother to sensitize the mother to be aware of what she consumes while she's pregnant. Within the household, she can still get iron-rich food. It's just how to combine it. Let her remember that red meat is rich in iron. Liver is rich in iron. Unfortunately enough, the iron in liver and animal products are readily available for the system to utilize. I don't want to use big grammar, so that I want to explain it in such a way that the populace will understand. So the iron in animal fat, protein, meat, liver is readily available. So for you to make the iron in legumes, beans, different types of beans, seeds and nuts, darkly green leafy vegetables to be available for the system to utilize, they have to eat vitamin C rich foods like oranges, tangerine, tomato, things that are rich in lemon, lime, things that are rich in vitamin C. So it's a driver. It helps the body to utilize. Because one thing is this, you're eating iron rich food. Is your system utilizing it? So one thing is to eat iron rich food, and another thing is for your system to utilize it. So for their system to utilize the iron in the dark leafy vegetables, they will need vitamin C rich food. As simple as oranges. Because oranges are readily available in all parts of the country.
To combine with.
Yeah, they will lick the orange. Yes. And it helps to make the iron in the vegetables available.
Okay, like what you have just explained to us now, you are the nutrition coordinator, FCT. Do you carry out sensitization programs for women? Do you have any recent one you just...
Yes, the FCT Primary Healthcare Board, the FCT Health and Human Services and Environment Secretariat, through the FCT Primary Healthcare Board, in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Health, trained stakeholders in the FCT for maternal, infant, and young child nutrition at the state level. They did a state training of trainers. And this was to equip health workers and stakeholders across board, multi-sectoral, because nutrition is a multi-sectoral thing. People from the hospitals, from agric, from the media, we are trained. Even FEMA, FCT Emergency Agency, we are trained. The reason is that everybody is on the same page. And you heard what I said, maternal, infant, and young child nutrition. Before now, the country was focusing on infant and young child nutrition. But after that,
even now the mother.
Yes, somebody produces this infant.
And loses a lot.
Yes, so we have to start from the cradle to begin to take care of the mother who produces the infant, to break the cycle of malnutrition. So anemia is actually a very, very serious thing. And the National Food Consumption Survey, the report that was shared last year, sometime first quarter last year, indicated that the prevalence of anemia in pregnant women is high, 32%.
Wow.
So it's something that is of great concern, that pregnant women are at risk of anemia, and something has to be done. So the government of Nigeria is rolling out MMS, multiple micronutrient supplements, in addition to IFAs. So that one is for prevention. A mother who is severely malnourished, severely who has severe anemia, will be given IFA. But a mother who is just pregnant and okay will be given MMS because it indicates that it gives out positive birth outcomes if mothers use multiple micronutrients. So the two of them are, supporting each other. We are focusing on dietary diversification. We are also focusing on, mothers using the supplements. Okay. And the supplements are free.
Yeah. Now, we'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the discussion. We've been talking about something that is very important, like she said, and she said it's a serious thing, anemia. Okay, but let's go on this break. When we come back, the conversation will continue. Please don't go anywhere.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are not ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
They know my story.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike!
This is Entertainment Gist.
FCT nutrition coordinator is still in the house to throw more light on anemia, okay, in pregnancy or in pregnant women. So now let's talk about beliefs. We have a lot, you see a lot of people who say, okay, in my, what would I call it? I don't want to use the word village, or in my religion, or in my communities,
my cluster.
Yes, we don't believe in this, we believe in this and all that. So how have you been dealing with that?
Yeah, you begin to teach them because there's no food a pregnant woman should be made to forbid. A pregnant woman can eat any food as long as she feels like eating it. As long as it's not tobacco, it's not alcohol.
Okay.
It's not caffeine. It doesn't have caffeine. Coffee, tea, Lipton, those ones, tea bags. They are high in caffeine. It's not good for them. But any other food, they should be allowed to eat as their choice is made. Okay. They are allowed to eat that. Yeah, in some communities they will tell you, she should not eat dry meat. If she eats dry meat, she will not deliver. Or she delivers somebody who looks like a wild animal. She should not eat snails. If she eats snails, the mother will be. The baby will be drooling.
With such people.
Yes, mother will be baby will be drooling when the baby arrives. All sorts.
I've heard some people say she should not eat snail. That when she eats snail, the baby will produce a lot of saliva.
Yes, that is drooling. Okay. Because drooling when the baby begins to pour out saliva.
Okay.
All those things are fats and fallacies. A pregnant woman can eat any food she wants to eat.
Wow.
There are healthy options, and during antenatal they are taught about eating healthy food and quality food. The focus is on locally available food. Okay. Let her get foods that are around her surroundings.
And
seasonal,
and
yes.
Affordable.
Yeah. Yes. Because you also encourage them to do home gardens.
Okay.
Now they will tell you that they don't have space.
But now we have different ways.
Yes, their plastic containers, they are broken. Yeah. The rice sacks.
Yes, sacks, yeah.
Yeah, the cement sacks, empty cement sacks. The semo sacks, they can pour sand inside them, and make their garden. In the olden days when we were growing, our parents don't go to the market and they cook with vegetables.
Yeah, they do.
They cook with vegetables. They have oranges at the backyard. They have pawpaw. They have mangoes, So you encourage them to go home garden and also small animal breeding. Just drop some local fowls. They will be reproducing. You can use them. You can use the eggs.
Yeah.
Yes. So these are how we encourage them to be able to feed well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now for someone who is battling with anemia, or someone who feels that all hope is lost, what would you say to that person?
All hope is not lost. That's why we encourage them when you're pregnant, go for antenatal. We have what they call focused antenatal. The professionals, the healthcare professionals are trained to give key messages as required by the pregnant woman. So when they check you, they will take your blood sample, go and check the level. If they feel you're anemic, they will cancel you. If they feel that you should be placed on treatment, they will place you on treatment. You remember I said for pregnant women, we use 2 supplements in Nigeria. The IFA, that is iron and folic acid supplement, and the MMS. The MMS is for prevention for people who are not severely anemic. But if the pregnant woman is severely anemic, she will be placed on IFA. And there's a protocol. And this will be handled by trained health workers. Yes, or professionals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As we round up in just 1 minute, what advice would you give to not only pregnant women, because we're talking about nutrition here.
Yes.
So everyone watching, what will be your parting words?
My parting word for us is let's keep on eating healthily, eating things that are around our environment. You don't need to go to buy packaged foods, processed foods. Let's go natural. Because when you go natural, you'll be able to, your system can utilize all the nutrients that are available in that food.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, we've been speaking with Clara Chinyere Christina Ekweme. She is the FCT Nutrition Coordinator, and you've heard it from her. Okay, we talked about prevention of anemia in pregnant women through the use of locally available food. Indeed, we are blessed. We have a lot. Like she said, you don't need to go for expensive supplements. We all have it, okay? So whatever it is, she has given an example as common as orange. You can take orange, you can take the vegetables. We have the ugu. God blessed us with a lot of it. All right, it's been Good Morning Abuja, and the program will continue after this break. Please don't go anywhere.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of
Assalamu
paradise.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed.
As Muslims, we know that in Islam, time is a very good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Dhamma is made form rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam, NTA channel.
That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need.
Yes, if you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station. We all know that cancer is a major public health issue in Nigeria and is a thing of concern. So we want to talk about cancer management, and we have professionals in the house who are in charge. I say they are in charge in making sure that the issue of cancer in Nigeria is, should I say, eradicated. Let me put it that way. Please join me as I welcome Dr. Ukoma Chikadibia, a consultant hematologist, Vice President, Nigerian Cancer Society. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have Dr. Uzoma Ugochukwu, HPV vaccine awareness and uptake project consultant to Nigerian Cancer Society. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Thank you. So let's talk about the developmental issues on cancer in Nigeria.
3 major cancers in Nigeria. They had the largest, the highest number of cancers in Nigeria. Okay. That's cervical cancer, prostate cancer, and breast cancer. Okay. But in addition, we have seen that there are other major cancers, and which we are trying to bring to the fore. Okay. These 3 and 1 government is presently supporting through the CHA fund.
Would you say they are the ones that are common?
Those are the most common cancers in Nigeria. But like I said, there are other common cancers which we have identified and which we are thinking should also be incorporated into this CHF. And it will also possible enlarge the scope of the CHF. What is it that one center in the geographical zone in the country where that are taking care of these diseases. And we are asking that other cancers should be incorporated into this, so that colorectal cancer, which we have found to be growing in number as well. We also got talking hematological malignancy, like blood cancers and so on and so forth. And then we talk pediatric cancers. So we are hoping that this can also be incorporated. Cancer is a major disease burden to everyone. Once there's cancer, it alters your daily living. It alters your system entirely. I've been on to make one of our past president of American Society died of liver cancer recently.
Wow.
He was a professor, a past commissioner of health in the state in Nigeria.
Wow.
And then eventually, because of the burden associated with cancer management, he sold almost everything has just so even with our own contributor and support, he was not able to take care of himself. So we are hoping that government will come in. But based on what was approved in this year, that's about 150 million for this CHF, we consider so negligible, so insufficient. It's not even enough to even manage 10 patients. Wow. Because to manage breast cancer patient, you need almost about 20 million to do that.
Wow.
So how can 150 million manage these 3 cancers we're talking about, and others we are hoping to come on board for the entire Nigerians. So these are the current situation we have in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. My question now goes to you, Dr. Uzoma. I want you to throw more light on the 150 million for cancer patients. I want you to throw more light on it.
Well, as regards the 150 million, I think it's maybe the money marked for the CHF, that's the Cancer Health Fund, which I think is not enough. And I think it's important that government and parastatals that are in charge, including the National Assembly, to look into it and see how they can up the Nigerian cancer, the Cancer Health Fund, to be able to reach more cancer patients, because the burden of cancer in the country is huge. And of course, patients are actually suffering a lot.
So how accessible is this fund?
Well, I wouldn't know how accessible it is. Yeah, but because there's a management part to it, and those that manage it. Yeah.
If I comment, I think the accessibility is at least once you are diagnosed of these 3 major cancers in Nigeria, you are referred to this CISA hospital in state in Nigeria, and then once it is confirmed, and then you are approved to have the government will deposit 1 million naira into your account, into the hospital account created for that individual patient. And from there, patient begin to assess this for treatment, for the diagnosis and monitoring. But like I said, that is grossly insufficient, inadequate in taking care of burden of cancer. Like I say, almost what the situation is in Nigeria, the cost of drugs is so exorbitant. And so 1 million for a patient is nothing to write
home. And also considering the cost of the treatment. Yes. Okay, government intends to create centers, more centers. So how would these centers help in cancer management?
Definitely, almost every teaching hospital in Nigeria have oncology department where cancers are managed. But the one I'm talking about, the CSF, is only 6 hospitals are marked and identified, and that way money are deposited for this care of cancer patient. Other patients pay out of pocket. So if you go to any other hospital, you pay out of pocket. And we have also advocated that even the health insurance scheme can accommodate some of this treatment for patients, because it is not easy on the part of the patient.
Okay. So, Dr. Zoma, we are looking at the HPV awareness. Okay, can you talk to us about it?
Yes, I think I'll start with a project that is ongoing. It's called the HPV, that's the Human Papilloma Virus Vaccine Awareness and Uptake Project, which is currently running. It's a project of 3 consortium, the Pathfinder International, it's an international organization, the Nigeria Cancer Society, and the Medical Women Association of Nigeria involved in this project. I think it's being funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, the essence of this project stands around 6 pillars, but the key area is advocacy and media engagement so that we can increase the awareness of the vaccine within our populace. It's important to note that HPV causes a significant percentage of cervical cancer, well over 70%. Even up to 90% of cervical cancer has been documented to be caused by the human papilloma virus, especially the type 16 and the type 18. And then this vaccine is now known to protect against cervical cancer. So it is important that people are aware that if this is administered before, especially for our children, the young ones, before their initial debut, before they become sexually active, age 9 to 14, are supposed to take this vaccine, which will now help them prevent cervical cancer as they move up in life. It's important that we carry this message to our communities, to Nigerians at large, especially our women who are usually in charge of the home and who know what we are talking about. Because if you see the havoc cervical cancer is causing within our homes and our families, you will know what I'm talking about. It's important to know that if a woman is removed from the family as a result of death from cervical cancer, it affects the children. And therefore, this project has been put in place so that myths and misconceptions, because there have been issues around the vaccines, and then so these myths and misconceptions should be clear. Cervical cancer causes death in women. HPV vaccine prevents cervical cancer.
I want to add here, I think it's important to state that I think no dear child, no woman in Nigeria should die of cervical cancer. Because the time between the infection with the human papilloma virus to the time of developing cancer is almost about 10 years, which is enough time for this to prevent this early enough. So that he have mentioned that the idea of getting vaccine is more cheaper than even treatment. The burden is so much on the family. Even if I don't want my family to get before I give money to treat it. Avoid it from the beginning.
So prevention is better than cure.
Get vaccine again, and then you it's taking care of.
Okay, you know, started. You told us about the Nigerian Cancer Society. Now, what role, briefly, would you say the society plays in cancer management, especially in Nigeria? Let me put it down.
Well, the role we play is actually mainly advocacy with government. And that is what I want to advocate with government.
Not funding,
sensitization.
Not funding treatment.
We are going into funding. If the last press conference which our president delivered, he made mention of our initiative to develop a fund, a kind of fund of about 10 billion which we try to raise through the corporate society to help in supporting the treatment of our warriors who are faced with this condition. But we are also saying that even itself is not enough. We want government to up this money for CHL to at least $1 billion starting with, so that patient can be able to have access to treatment.
Doctor, what would you say about early detection? What would you say to people? You know, a lot of people will wait. Some will say, okay, this is a spiritual. You know, Nigerians were very spiritual. Spiritual attack, this until. So what would you say to them about early detection?
That is the key, because like we say, prevention is the best. Nobody wants to actually come down with any cancer at all. So for cervical cancer, for instance, which we're discussing, early prevention, or rather preventing it, first of all, with the HPV vaccine is key, and that's number one. And the second thing, we'll be talking about detection, like my colleague talked about. The timeline for cervical cancer is about 10 years from when the precancerous stage before it develops fully into cancer. And within this space, if every woman can go for a pap smear every 5 years, any change can easily be detected. And that early detection leads to complete cure of cervical cancer. So if it's detected early, no problem, it is completely cured. But our challenge is, do we detect it early? The answer is no. Most women would get in at stage 2, stage 3 of the cancer, which is as good as just managing it until the person's time is up. So it's important for us to note, as a final note, that the human papilloma viral vaccine is key to eliminating cervical cancer.
Okay. Dr. Okoma, as the Vice President, Nigerian Cancer Society, as we round, what would be your advice to someone who is battling with cancer?
I would say don't give up. We have a lot of warriors who are battling with cancer, who are living with cancer for 20, 25 years. So it's not a death sentence. Cancer is not a death sentence. You can make it. You can make it. You can be strong.
Okay, you've heard it. Cancer is not a death sentence. Thank you so much, doctors. Doctors, thank you so much. So, as the Vice President, Nigerian Cancer Society, thank you so much for what you are doing, and thank you, Dr. Ozoma Ugochukwu. Okay, you are the HPV vaccine awareness and uptake project consultant to Nigerian Cancer Society. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, you've heard it all. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. And you heard that is not a death sentence. There's prevention. And early detection is very, very important. All right. So please don't give up. Don't give up hope. Yes, if you're battling with cancer, it's not a death sentence. Now it's time for us to continue the show as we go into our kitchen. And this time we want to look at how to prepare Mia Shuwanka. It is the bitter leaf soup, the Hausa way. Please, let's go there. We'll be right back. Agree with me. Honestly, we are blessed. We have a lot. That's why, a lot of people will say Nigerian jollof rice is the best. Have they tried our soups? Okay, have they tried our swallows? This Mia Shuwaka, I'm sure it's something you want to go back and then cook. People from the south or from the east, they are used to the bitter leaf soup, but this is another kind of bitter leaf soup. All right, now moving on, let's take our sport update. We'll be right back.
Super Eagles B are expected to know their group opponent this Wednesday as the draw for the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024 holds in Nairobi, Kenya. The draw will be conducted at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi. In another development, Novak Djokovic survived the scare in his quest for tennis history before following Carlos Alcaraz and defending champion Yannick Sinner into the second round of the Australian Open. However, Greek former finalist Stefanos Tsitsipas and home favourite Nick Kyrgios both fell at the first hurdle, with the combustible Australian going out swearing and in pain.
Welcome back. Next up on our show this morning is our weather forecast. Let's see it. Wow, everything that has a beginning surely has an end. This is where we draw the curtains for today's show. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I want to say a very big thank you to all our guests that graced our studio. And we want to say thank you to them for all their contribution. Remember, something I want you to take home. Cancer is not a death sentence. If you have it, don't worry. There's a cure for it, okay? There's treatment. But also remember that early detection and early treatment is the best. All right? If you missed the show or you're just joining us, don't worry. You can watch on YouTube, NTA Channel 5. Good morning, Abuja. Thank you so much. My name is Cynthia Opene. Please do take good care of yourself. I'm saying that to you. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now.
Nigeria is home. Land of money, land of plenty. Nigeria is home. Ile oh, ile oh. My own. Nigeria is our home. We have to stop the fighting.